Today I'm going to talk about Gatsby Cloud very quickly, what it is, and then how to use Gatsby Preview as well, and what that's about as well. So the bits I'm be covering here is obviously a little intro on Gatsby JS, so just so people might not be aware of what that is, or just a brief intro. Then talk about Gatsby Cloud, and then preview with a headless CMS as well. So what is Gatsby? So when people speak about Gatsby, they always think it's a static site generator, but that's not the case, right? So the idea is that obviously it's based on top of a React framework, and it's an open source project, and it allows you to create blazing fast applications and websites as well. It has a very powerful GraphQL integration inside it, so it allows you to do data retrieval with that. And generally, what the idea is that you're basically developing everything into single HTML files and assets, so then allows you to kind of incorporate that outside to the outside world. And one of the good things about it, which is kind of new, is the one-click deployments as well, which we'll talk about in a bit. So this is what we've got here. Is basically the ecosystem for Gatsby is that you have a data source, whether that's using something like Markdown or a JSON file or something else. That will go into Gatsby with GraphQL, helping you to kind of use that data. And then it comes out with, well, you basically use that to generate the HTML and CSS. And then you can deploy that out to whatever you want. So people use Netlify or whatever they want to use. And that's the general sort of way of using Gatsby. One of the good things about Gatsby is that they're evolving now. So something that they've introduced is something called Gatsby Cloud. For me, it's like shiny, sparky, sparkling stuff. So when it's like developers, they tend to think, okay, something's new, they want to try it, they want to do it. The idea here is that they want to get people to pretty much be in their one system fits all kind of scenario. So you basically create your websites and apps, you update them, and then you can also deploy them with Gatsby Cloud. So that's the idea. So everything is done in one area. So one of the benefits here is obviously there is it's free to start with. There's no commitment required. But the key thing here is at the moment it's only with GitHub accounts. So you can't use other repos and things like that just yet. But Gatsby are looking into that. And one of the things as well is you can just create your site, get it up and running very quickly. It's not that long it takes to get this working. So you can do that either using something where they choose a starter site, or you can create your own repo and start using that as well. So just to quickly show you the next bit. So on here, this just quickly shows you how to get started with this. So all you do is obviously click on the Get Started button. And then what it does is that it says, okay, do you have a Gatsby site already, or do you want to actually use the site that they've already given? So what they have is they've got starter sites here, so they're already working with some CMSs. So you can either use those if you want, or you can see some more coming soon as well. Or in my case, I decided to kind of use my own Gatsby site. And then you can do that. And what they'll do there is obviously ask for a few more details in the sense of your sort of name and how you link to your repo, and then decide on whether it's actually a personal project or whatever. And once you do that, it basically picks up your GitHub account and then starts showing you the repositories that you want to be linking this particular Gatsby Cloud site to. So I'll just show mine, and then basically that allows you to kind of go to the next step. So the next thing, sorry, next one. Sorry. There we go. So once you've actually set up and linked your account together, then what you can do is basically look at ways to actually obviously see your live site. So they basically give you a URL that you can go to. You can see your previews of logs and builds that have taken place as well. And that allows you to kind of obviously see if there's any problems in your builds. And also what you've got here is obviously similar things that you would normally see in Netlify as well, like environment variables, webhooks. So if something has changed, how to kind of trigger that, and how you can kind of control who can see it. So you can do public and private repos and things like that as well. Okay, so like I mentioned, obviously Gatsby Cloud allows you to do lots of things with those kind of abilities to include another site in there. One of the things that they're doing at the moment is the fact that they've got builds, which is incremental builds, allows you to kind of incorporate Lighthouse audits. They'll give you the results from that as well. All of that's coming soon, so there might be like a beta version that you can get and start using as well. But one of the other things they've got is the real-time preview. So if you've got something that, if you've got sites or apps that are using like a CMS, a headless CMS, it's really like one of the key things that a content editor will probably need is like real-time viewing to see that something's been changed and how does it look. So what I've done is I've basically utilized the webhooks that they've provided to us on the Gatsby cloud side, and then incorporated this on a headless CMS called Kentico Kontent. So there's a quick video here. And what that does is that basically, this is the side where it basically shows you the website. Now, if I scroll down a bit here, what you'll see is that there's like a custom element. So it's like a plugin, basically, that's triggered with the webhook in there. And that just tells you when something's been saved and then triggers actual real-time stuff. So if I start typing in there, obviously it's video, typing very slow. It should start appearing up here. Now, obviously, this is a beta version as well, so that's why it's a bit slower than you'd expect. But you can see the benefit here that to someone who's actually doing a headless CMS, all they're doing is content. They want to see it straight away, rather than actually publishing a page or doing anything extra to kind of deploy something. So that's going to be really handy for like content editors and people who use headless CMSs. Obviously, the builds functionality, which is going to come soon as well, is going to be added on top of that, and that's going to obviously make it even better. So with this, I've got like one thing here, which is obviously Kentico Kontent gives you only a 30-day trial. Now, what we can do with this link is obviously give you 90 days as well. So it's not like a buying or selling thing here, but it's more like for you to experiment with something longer than you want to be or expected to be doing. So by all means, use that 90 days link if you want to do that. And then, so just a few like takeaways for me to kind of provide back to you guys is it's a shiny new tool. Obviously, there's going to be issues on there. There's going to be like bugs and things like that and improvements. But one of the things is obviously you can see like it's very easy to set a site up live and into like a hosting environment without you having to be a master DevOps person or a master developer. It's very easy to set up. As long as you've got a GitHub account, that's really important. And that's why I mentioned there is obviously like it's GitHub at the moment, but Gatsby are looking to obviously change that and hopefully include other repos. And obviously we know that they're trying to combine everything into one. The other thing is obviously I feel like Gatsby are not standing still. Like literally, there's something happening. Like you'll see if you follow them on Twitter, there's constantly things that are coming out and constantly things are changing. So I think you need to really think about Gatsby in the next coming months and the year as well. The real-time preview, obviously, we mentioned before, is going to be a massive benefit to the content editors. Other CMSs can be added at some point soon as well by Gatsby. And I feel like, obviously, Gatsby Cloud is, although it's new, it's not obviously going to be something that it kind of mirrors what other tools do, like Netlify, GitHub Pages. So, it's an alternative. It's not going to mean that you have to use this or you have to use that kind of option. And I think the biggest thing for me is obviously watch the Gatsby space, because obviously they are changing and improving and building lots of new things inside there. That's it from me. Obviously, you've got the link there as well if you want to get there. But are there any questions?
Can I ask, the preview thing seems to be the unique thing. Can you get that with the free plan at all? Can you try it?
So with the Kentico Kontent one,
yeah.
If you want that with the free plan, so do you mean with the Gatsby Cloud free plan?
Gatsby Cloud, yeah.
Yeah, you get that, yeah.
Okay. So if I have another one like Contentful or something.
Yeah, so they've got already, so the other CMSs that they've got is Contentful, Data CMS or something. But the idea is that they've got those already built. The one that I showed is something that they're going to incorporate in as well in the future. But yeah, by all means, you can use the other ones as well.
Cool.
No problem, yeah. and it's already ready and available.
The builds, is that incremental builds?
Yes.
Is that a thing now, yeah?
So that's in beta at the moment, the incremental builds. I think when we went to Gatsby Days London, they were showing a little bit on there.
Yeah. But that was like, they literally just finished it.
Yes, exactly, yeah. But the idea is that if you sign up to the beta, if you click on the link, there's a link on the website that allows you to sign up to early releases and you can get involved in that.
Okay, the beta showed us where you can pick your template and stuff. It looks a lot like StackBit.
No, I've not heard
it's
it. It's similar to that,
you
yeah.
pick your template CMS, you will host it. When I first tried it, a while back, start of last year, I think it was very manual, setting up the like contentful backend stuff.
Yeah.
Is it all abstracted away now?
Yeah, so basically, this is the second one I've tried. I've tried the contentful one already. That went pretty much okay. The Kentico Kontent one, because it's kind of beta for Kentico Kontent, that's why it's a little bit more trickier and slower. But yeah, all of that works seamlessly well, really well. Like it's easy to follow, easy steps as well, because you're clicking on their particular starter templates as well. It's pretty good. Awesome. Brilliant, thank you. So yeah, great, thank you. So we'll have the next one.